Hello, Facebook friends. This is Greg Rex. I am excited to be on this Zoom with you. I've got, well, heck, we've got people from San Diego. We got Nassim Haramein, my buddy at the beach. If you can see him there, he's got his sunglasses on. He just got out of the water. I got Krista, my buddy and advisor, and I'm super excited. This is a Facebook Live. I'm up in Montreal, Canada. Actually, Nassim's hometown where he grew up. His dad was a teacher here in Montreal, and this is going to be fun. I'm really excited. Thanks for joining. If you are joining us live on Facebook, this is kind of a big day for me. It's my birthday, but more importantly, I gave birth today. I have a baby boy. His name is Stoked. Is my first book, and it's been a lot of fun. So welcome, everyone. I can't see anyone logging on, so I'm in a Zoom format, so I can't see the Facebook itself, but I'm excited to have you here. I want to connect with two people that are super important to me and have been instrumental in me helping get this book done. But I'm kind of excited. I kind of want to just like soak in the minute here and just take a breath and think like all these years I've been working on this book. Nassim, you and I have been talking about, I've talked about this for you for years. Same with you, Krista. We've been talking about it, and all of a sudden it's done, and I can't believe it. I'm kind of in shock. I'm excited. I'm stoked.
Breathe it in.
I know. Breathe, right?
Breathe it in, buddy. And happy birthday. Happy spiral around the sun. Another one.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Well, no matter where you're logging in from, one of the things that this book has a theme. It's kind of one of the themes of my life. The book is called Stoked, A Spiritual Journey from Employee to Lifestyle Entrepreneur. And one of the themes that you're going to, if you get the book, you'll read about is this concept of mastery through mentorship. And if I've ever wanted to get good at something, my philosophy has always been find the best person I can get a hold of and humble myself and become their apprentice and study and listen and read and go to their classes and listen to their lectures. And in some cases, they become friends. Like Nassim and I become friends. I've been following his work for over 10 years. And he's had a huge influence on my life, on my thinking, and he's going to have a huge impact on this planet. And if you know of Nassim, put a heart in Facebook, put a heart on there if you know of him and his work. I think that if you don't, I'm super excited to be the one to introduce you to him because this guy is brilliant. Our connection has not only been surfing, but I think we have a connection because we love nature. We love geometry. Sacred geometry is one of his specialties. He's an expert in many, many fields. But the one thing that impressed me the most is he actually completed the work that Einstein couldn't complete. He actually wrote an equation that's the unified field theory and actually did it. And he is, he's a brilliant man and he's a great adventurist. He's always trying to find the edge, whether it's diving 200 feet under the water or whether it's riding a motorcycle 170 miles an hour or surfing big waves with me in Hawaii. This guy loves to live on the edge. And Nassim, I love you. I'm so thankful for you to be on the call tonight. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy surf schedule.
Thank you. I'm so stoked for you, Greg. It's awesome that the book is done, and it's been a long journey and a long exploration for both of us during that time, in our personal life and the changes that we've gone through. I'm so stoked that it's coming out on your birthday, and I just had to do it from the beach with the waves in the background because life is a wave and there's troughs and there's highs, and we rode them together, my brother, and I'm so glad I'm here to be able to witness this moment in your life.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I want to talk a little bit about that concept of life is a wave. And you come into the book, this book, by the way, if you guys don't know, it's called Stoked, A Spiritual Journey from Employee to Lifestyle Entrepreneur. And Nassim comes in at the very end of the book, actually. He's in chapter 11. He comes in, the chapter is called Landlocked by Nature. And this, what happens is the main guy in the story, the hero of the story, Mitch, has been training, saving his money, working really hard with his mentor to learn how to surf pipeline. And he saves up his money. He goes on this vacation, and there's a Category 3 hurricane that's just sitting on top of Hawaii, and the ocean is a victory at sea. It's unsurfable. It's beyond, like, it's just stormy, beyond recognition. So he's all bummed out, and he meets this guy named Nassim, this crazy surfer scientist, and he goes on this journey. And you know, Nassim, this is one of the things that you and I share, is this passion for the ocean, this passion for waves. And one of the ideas in the book is that energy is a wave, therefore, and everything is energy. So therefore, everything is a wave. And there's big waves and little waves, and there's storms. But let's talk about this concept of waves and how it affects our lives, and how it affects, when you understand how waves work, how you can benefit from it.
Right. Well, you know, it's like, first of all, it's something very profound about waves and the ocean. Because when you look at it in details, the physics of it are not that obvious, meaning that you look at a wave and you're thinking the water is moving. But actually, the water is not moving in the direction of propagation of the wave, or very little in that direction. The water molecules are basically moving up and down, and the wave is a much more esoteric thing. It's an energy that is moving through the medium, and it's something very similar to the physics I wrote describing space-time as an energy that has very specific wave dynamic in it. And basically, when the waves move through the energy in vorticular pattern, it produces matter and the forces that we observe, like gravity, electromagnetic fields, and all this. And that becomes as well a metaphor for what goes on in our lives. You know, it's like our lives is like a fluid flowing down the hill, and there's waves moving through it. We're going down the waves and up the waves, and it's like the energy are moving through us as we're like the particles bobbing up and down. And sometimes we catch the wave and we get a little forward, you know, we move forward, and it's wonderful. But it's being able to be with the atom flow of life and be able to relax into it and feel into it. You know, just like me, how much surfing is a feel, you know? It's like you look at really good surfer, you're sitting on the breaks, you know, looking at really good surfers, and somehow, long before you can see the set coming, they start positioning, they start moving just where the waves show up. And you know, it's like there's a sense, there's a sixth sense, there's a feel you get. And it's just the same. It's like if you're really attentive to the atom flow of this field that surrounds you, that makes up everything you are, then all of a sudden you can come in such great harmony with it, in such great resonance, you know, sympathetic resonance with it, that you're able to like go ride all these up and downs in such a powerful way that most of the time you're able to catch the wave and move forward.
That's so true. That's beautiful. Thank you for explaining it that way. And that's kind of what we're trying to explain in the book, because actually he comes, when he first meets you, he's frustrated. Mitch is like, I wasted a whole year of my life. The world is against me. I saved up all my money. The universe is kicking me in the butt. I came here to surf and now I got nothing. And then he goes, and you, in the last chapter, chapter 12, which is called Getting Barreled, Mitch, his girlfriend Coco, who's his yogini girlfriend that came on the trip with him, and Tim, you bring him down to meet this shaman in Hawaii. His name is Himo. And this Hawaiian shaman takes him on a spiritual journey in the rainforest, and he has an experience of being connected to the whole of universe. And this is another theme that you've taught me, again, you wrote the paper on the connected universe, and you made a full-length movie called The Connected Universe. And really, this is a concept that when people understand that they are part of and connected to everything in the universe, it could be a real game changer for someone spiritually in their life. And that's, can you talk a little about this concept of being connected to the universe and being at the center of the universe?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. From the equations we wrote and some of the predictions we were able to make in physics, predictions that were confirmed, we have a theory now that's telling us that the material world, like atoms, subatomic particles, electrons, even like black holes in the universe, stars, galaxies, are not separate from each other, but they're all connected through this medium, through this electromagnetic fluid-like structure, and it's called a superfluid in physics, and that this superfluid, this medium, connects all things together with micro wormholes or Planck-sized wormholes, and so basically, it teaches us that the organization of this universe, that is, the fact that the universe is able to organize into coherent matter structure and then eventually into coherent matter structures that are complex enough to make biological structure, which themselves organize again into very coherent states, including human beings, which is 100 trillion cells made out of 100 trillion atoms each. You can imagine the complexity of this connectivity and the information that must flow through the 100 trillion cells in your body in order for them to self-organize with chemical change in the billions per second and a million cell division per second. So this is all highly coordinated through this information flow, through this information metric of the structure of space itself. And basically, what we're learning in your book is that, wow, if I pay attention, I can tune into this. I'm an actor in it. I'm a participant in this field. And I can tune into it and I can influence it. And it basically brings me to a level of awareness where I start to feel complete. I start to feel my deeper self, not just the superficial, result of my education and the life I've spent, but actually my deeper nature, the nature of my universal self, which is connected to the natural world.
Beautiful. And there's no better feeling than being on a wave, connected with nature, and being at harmony. That's one of the things we love that we share. You mentioned also the word consciousness, and in the book, you say something to Mitch. He goes, "Are you sure you're a scientist? I've never heard a scientist say anything like that." And I wanted to bring up this because you have been ridiculed, you've been challenged by some of your traditional peers and colleagues in the science world, and it seems like for a long time, spirituality and science have been disconnected. They don't even talk to each other. And
that's right.
This ancient wisdom of shaman and ancient civilizations that you study, the oldest of knowledge that we have, has been predicting these things that now today our science is getting caught up and actually starting to prove.
That's right.
Like there's a reunion, like there's a coming back together of this, how it used to be where scientists and shaman were together. They were the same guys. Back in the day, the scientist was the shaman, the alchemist. That was the guy who was trying to figure out the world, the universe, but he's doing it from a spiritual place. How important is it for us to bring science and spirit back together?
It's critical. I always said, spirituality is just the physics we haven't understood. There's many principles that have been there in metaphysics and spirituality, but as well in consciousness study that are showing to be correct in more modern physics that is being developed right now, not just by me, by many others. There's actually, Frank Welchek, which is, one of the most respected physicists on the planet today. You know, he has a Nobel Prize in physics, that gave the conference in 2017 where he talked about the ether, this superfluid that connects everything, and he talked about this vacuum fluctuations being the material from which we emerge, from which we are made, and he calls us ethereal beings from the ether, children of the ether. This is a Nobel Prize winner in physics talking this way. I never thought I would hear this coming from such a prominent physicist. So it's very exciting. There's a big change that's going on in physics, and there's a big change as well that's going on in religion and spirituality and all this. To realize, well, it doesn't have to be woo-woo. It doesn't have to be out there floating on the pink cloud. And the physics don't have to be only in the laboratory and nothing else. It doesn't have to be that the spiritual people say it's all inside. The outside world doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be that the scientists are saying it's all outside and the inside world doesn't matter. But it is the combination of the two. And this is remarkable because that's exactly what these equations I wrote to unify the field say. They say that there's an exchange of information between the information inside of the system to the outside of the system, across the boundary of the event horizon of the system. And when you calculate the energy of the information exchange, you get exactly the right values for the mass, for the energy, for the angular momentum, all these things. So basically, there's hopefully a coming together, a unification, not just of the physics, but and biology and chemistry and all the other sciences, but as well in the understanding of consciousness and what people have been calling spirituality, and what really makes people tick.
Yeah. And that's really one, I think, of the most important messages I'm trying to get across in this book is that unity is plural. One of our favorite mentors that we both share is Buckminster Fuller.
Of course.
And he had some of these one-liners that just change your whole paradigm. And one of them is that unity is plural at minimum two. And basically, there's no such thing as separation. There is not. It is non-duality, and that when you understand these poles, these opposites, north and south, masculine and feminine, dark and light. These things are not disconnected. They're not actually opposites. They're part of a continuum. They're connected. And so my message in the book is to learn how to integrate. Learn how to integrate your business with your personal life. Learn how to integrate your relationship with your health. Learn how to integrate your spirituality with your finances. Because they're not separate. You can't separate.
That's right. And when you think of a north and a south pole, you might think of them as separate, but they're still on the same planet, right? They're connected by the earth.
Right.
Right. So they're not separate. They just appear that way.
Yeah. And you can't have one without the other, like the storms in life. When you have this big storm, that's what generates the waves.
Right.
All these things that the adversities, the challenges that we have in our lives, that's what helps you grow. Everything is perfect. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And I tried to get that across and make the book fun. And I know you are brilliant. You spent your whole life studying these concepts. And for some people, it's hard to digest some of it. But what I tried to do with the book is make it really fun and interactive and in a story. So the book itself is it's fiction. It's fiction. It's a parable, but it's based on only 3 live people. There's only three real people in the book. Everyone else is made up. Mitch and Jake, they're kind of like hybrids of some of my friends. There's I got a little bit of this guy and I put them together, but Nassim, Rob Machado, he's in the book, and also Marshall Thurber, who's one of my other mentors. And one of the reasons I chose to put you in as a real person, Nassim, is that I wanted people to hear about you, but also I wanted people to know about your foundation and your mission. And that's what got my heart so connected to your mission, was that you were trying to save our planet. And Bucky was trying to do the same thing. Bucky was trying to save us from ourselves. And could you tell people about the Resident Science Foundation, what your mission is, and if they want to learn more, what could they do?
Well, the Research Science Foundation is a nonprofit foundation. I started a 501c3. I started in 2004, I believe, with the purpose of doing research in unified physics and unified science in general, and bringing various scientists together to discuss these things and find solutions that could have applications to humanity, to help humanity overcome some of the most preeminent challenges that we're facing today: energy challenges, transportation challenges, nutrition challenges, health challenges, and so on. And so we have been doing research since then. We've published many papers. We have been doing research as well in the hardware department. We have put products on the market that are, making. Yes, the ARC crystal is one of them.
Yep.
Now the foundation has split off into multiple corporations, so that the hardware is now being done in a private laboratory called Taurus Tech, and the distribution of the developments of Taurus Tech are being done by ARC Corporation, so that the foundation is continuing to be left with, being able to concentrate on the theoretical work and the outreach to the public to make people aware of these discoveries. The little crystal you just showed, is one of them. I started in 1999 to be able to imprint crystal with certain frequencies, with rotational fields that are rotating near the speed of light, and that are creating a coherency in the crystal so that the crystal starts to emit photons directly from that fundamental fields that connects everything. And now we're able to measure these photons. I'm happy to say, finally, after all these years, we can see it's emitting about 100 photons a second. And it has an impact on water molecules around it and so on. If you charge water with it, then you give it to your plants, they'll grow 300 to 400 times faster, and percent faster, I'm sorry. So like 400 times, four times faster. And so if you wear it, it's going to change the water molecules in you. So the water becomes more energized, you get more energy, communication happens better between cells, and so on. This is the first baby step, Greg. We have stuff coming behind that's going to blow people's mind. And it's really exciting because we're building the framework for the new paradigm, educating people with books like yours that are awesome and helping people really move through all the obstacles in their life that's stopping them from being the most amazing beings they are and the most successful beings they can be. And then technology as well to enhance that and support that in the future. So that's really what the foundation is about.
Well, thank you for your work. One of the reasons why I kept you in the book as a real person is that I wanted to donate $1 from every sale of the Amazon books. This book is going to go towards your foundation to help that research, to help accelerate you to get the answers so that humanity can go on. All it takes is our bumblebees to be gone. If we lose our bumblebees, our planet's over. So we don't have time to mess around. We need to get this. It's got to get done. So
right.
Thank you for your work. Thank you for being on the call today.
Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for your generosity, and it makes a huge difference. If we're able to be funded appropriately, the researchers at the Resonance Science Foundation are writing very significant theoretical work that has very important application for our planet. So it makes a huge difference. So thank you, Greg, for making that happen. And I really, really appreciate your book. I think it's a great book. Everybody should get it and read it. it's gonna change your life and the life of the people around you.
Thanks, brother. I can't wait to surf with you again. I
Me
wanted to
too.
see if we had any questions before I let you go. If anyone had any questions, if you could take one or two, would that be cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, MJ, can you check in with Krista or text us in the chat? Do we have any questions? If anyone's listening and you have a question about the book, about the principles we talked about, waves, the connected universe, science and spirituality coming together, about Nassim's foundation. If you could put a question in the Q&A box there or in the chat, and either Krista, do you have access to that?
I'm not seeing that there are any questions that I've seen posted. We've got some great shares and we've got some activity coming through on the feed, but I don't see any actual questions at this moment.
Okay, if anyone, I can't see the chat, so I'm having to rely on MJ. And so if you guys have any questions, jump in there. Otherwise, what I'll do, Krista, is maybe you could talk about like the launch. Like, so the book is finally on Amazon. And if people wanted to check it out and get involved, what's the best thing to do?
So it is available on Amazon in both paperback and ebook Kindle format. And it's a very exciting day. I just want to take a moment to honor you, Greg, and really have you breathe in this moment. We've just heard from one of your true great mentors who I think even in just the few moments that we've as an audience have been able to experience Nassim's greatness and his genius, we can all see what an amazing, incredible human being he is and why he's such an important part of not just your life, but such an important character in the book and such an important pioneer and torchbearer for the world as a whole. And so as we celebrate your birthday and this moment for you, I just want you to breathe in and just feel the energy of every mentor you've ever had, because your platform really stands for the concept of mastery through mentorship. And it is this beautiful synergy between the eager apprentice and the humble mentor. The eager apprentice who's always wanting to learn, but then the flip side of that, just like that yin yang symbol and how you were talking about integrating both sides of those. So the eager apprentice then becomes the humble mentor, but he never loses that eager desire to just be a student of life. And I really want to honor you and really applaud you for living that wisdom. You really embody and personify what it means to be both an eager apprentice and a humble mentor, all wrapped in one. And I think you've done such an incredibly beautiful job with this book in storytelling, which just captivates the audience. So for any of you that are watching this and you're thinking about getting the book, it is absolutely one of the most readable books. It is something you could take to the beach and be sitting right there with Nassim and taking it all in. But after you've read it the first time and you just get so immersed into the character development of Mitch and Coco and the storyline, then what ends up happening, and because from the publishing side, we've had the beautiful opportunity to read this manuscript repeatedly, the layers of wisdom that come in. It's one of those books where you can just read it again and again, and you keep bringing new things and taking in new things. So for anybody who is watching this, we really hope that you will go first and foremost to Amazon. If you would give Greg the great honor on his birthday, let's forget the gifts and let's have them buy a copy on Amazon. And the next most important thing as we head through this launch period is to get those beautiful, honest reviews. So if you can imagine, for any of you who aspire, who are watching this and you aspire to write a book, whenever you click through on Amazon and you see a new book and there aren't any reviews yet, as a consumer, we want to know what a book is about, how it is and how it feels and how it experiences as a reader. And the feedback that we're getting by email and text and from people who are reading it, they are absolutely loving it. So please, if that's how you feel, don't just think those thoughts. Reach out, go on to Amazon, and please leave a great, honest review. And we hope, of course, that that will be, that you will love it as much as we have. But, go ahead.
Let me give one little tip. You have to search Stoked by Greg Rex, because it doesn't come up by itself. You got to put Stoked by Greg Rex and it'll pop right up. And thank you, Krista, because I really think that I've been looking back at my career and all my mentors, and people like Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Marshall Thurber, Nassim, John Assaraf. These guys are just like me. They're consummate learners. They never get comfortable, never stop learning, never stop reading, always saying what's next. And it's really important for everyone to not only learn how to, be that humble apprentice, but also after you get really good at something, it's only natural to share it, to give it away. It's like, it's just part of it. It's the second part, giving and receiving. They go together. They have to go together. They're part of the same thing. So anyways, go ahead and finish up what you're saying.
Yeah, so please go on to Amazon, search Stoked by Greg Rex. We also will post the Amazon links in the comments for this Facebook Live. And, I think one of the great things that when you were just talking as you finished about giving and receiving is because you feel so passionately about the 3 foundations who you're donating money to with the proceeds of this book. We've got Nassim's foundation, which we just heard about. Marshall Thurber's is another one. And then you've got the Rob Machado Foundation. By purchasing this book and you growing and taking in all the wisdom that's inherent in its pages, you're also paying forward that same eager apprentice learning and driving and remaining on the cutting edge that is the work that these 3 individuals and their organizations are doing globally to support the planet and the people who live upon it. So you can really feel good about making this purchase. And also, it is one of those books that is so full of wisdom that it is something you almost want to continue having a conversation about after you've had one of the aha moments as you move through the chapters. And so we'd really like to invite you to join the community. So please go here on Facebook to Greg Rex, his business page, and we'll post the links for that below in the comments for you. And make sure that you like and follow Greg on his business page so that as the different manifestations of this community develop over time, you can be a part of that and you can share in real time those aha moments as you have them.
Thank you, Krista, for all your help in making the book come to, you're like the nursemaid or the, what's it called? The doula.
Midwife.
You're the doula that helped me give this thing birth. And I'll give you a little sneak preview. There's going to be more of these interviews with masterminds with my mentors over the several next coming months. And there's also an app that we're under development. So we're going to have an app, a community app to integrate these learnings into your daily life. And there's one more thing. Everyone's asking me if I'm going to do the book on audio. And yes, that's one of my next projects is I'm going to do the book on audio. So you don't have to read it. You can listen to it while you're driving or when you're working out or whatever. So that's coming soon too. Thank you again, Nassim. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you, Greg, for bringing this to the world, and happy birthday, my friends.
Happy birthday. It was amazing. I'm so stoked to be part of your transformation throughout all these years. So, Greg, congratulations. You're doing amazing.
Thanks, bro. See you soon.
All right.
Chaka, bro.
Chaka. Bye, everyone.